Good morning, FLFM. How you doing? It's starting to get wintry or autumny here in Holland. It's about 3 degrees Celsius, and well, it's getting wet. Anyway, I was thinking about something, reading the news and catching up on life. A few years back, sorry for all the traffic. A few years back, we got a lot of news, or in the alternative news sector, about water fluoridation and food poisoning, GMOs, etc. Nowadays it seems less, you don't hear much about drink water situations like Flint, Michigan and that kind of stuff. And it's all about Trump and the play acting in the geopolitical scene, where they might actually risk a war, but as in all wars, the rich get richer and the poor get death. That's kind of the way it goes. And most people forget it, Most people don't give a shit. What you do read about these days a lot is vaccines, especially in the alternative. Vaccine injuries and stuff. While here in Europe, there's no mention of any vaccine injuries. Because they're all owned. Governments are still pushing their so-called safe vaccines because, if you're not sick, then you have to get sick, You have to get the flu vaccine. You have to get all those injections when you're born, etc. It's good profit. And you may not stand in the way of profit these days. Never, People believe they live in a democracy while it's always been a fascist state, The world government is not a government, it's a fascist state. As in, the state of government is that it has always been run by money and corporations. Look at the East India companies, the Dutch and the English, the French. Those were all business practices. It was not government run, it was government sponsored business practices of colonization. So you see the same today, just packaged differently. Now we call it democracy, but it's still fascism because they make the rules, You cannot sue vaccine makers. You cannot sue Big Pharma. You cannot sue the government if they fail to protect you. So it ends up being fascism. And most people just ignore the fact that it has always been this way. They always think it was the big, free world that came after the Second World War. There never was a big, free world, People were institutionalized for going against the grain. And they still do. Only now you get you get your antidepressants and antipsychotics and your anything if it's a pill, anything to numb the mind. People are just kind of insane in that way. They want to believe. And I just want to say, stop believing. There is no need to believe anything. Like, believing is creating a makeshift, emotion that is first created in the mind and then through thorough indoctrination is perceived as a bodily feeling. But until you actually are confronted with like a true spiritual experience, and people know that, sorry for the traffic, a true spiritual experience is undeniable, but most people they tend to put religious labels to it, which are just fabrications of indoctrination. And the same goes with politics, the same goes with reading the news. Yesterday, we had some idiots that said, well, we have too much road signs. Well, first you invest in road signs and then you have to scrap them. What's the point? It's all about emptying your pockets for their profits. It's not making the world safer or making your life better, Anyone who believes that shit is like, jerking off is having sex, pubescent bullshit. Anyway, gotta go.